Yo, what up? It's your boy, Mr. Mumbles, King's Court, East 905. So we are doing live interview with the one and only Admiral Crumple. All right, so he should be calling in shortly. Okay, so all right, so we'll definitely have him coming in, and we'll be seeing what is good and okay, so we're just waiting for him to call in. There had been some technical difficulties, so sorry about any delay, but we are in the building and we are just waiting for him to come up into the place and see what's good. Sorry about that. Hope everybody's having a good time. Hope everybody's blessed. Hope everybody's happy. Yeah, I don't see him coming in, so I don't know what's going on. All right, and don't forget, in under an hour, we're also going to be coming out live with the homely Teddy KGB Capital Rap Battle. Shout out to everybody out in Ottawa. Nothing but love, mad support. Thank y'all. Well, while we wait, let's just go to his Spotify, play some Admiral Crumple, and we'll see what's up. Okay. Okay, here he is. Here. Hello.
Yo, yo, what up?
Hey, what's up? What up?
Chilling out, yo. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm just playing some of the music.
Gave props to myself for a favor.
All right, so we're live right now on YouTube. Audio there. So why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, I'm Admiral Crumple, dark, hardcore, and clever hip hop artist from Rexdale, Toronto, and just been releasing hip hop albums, and I'm just a big fan of hip hop culture in general.
Yeah, so yes, I've known you for a long time now. You go
Yeah,
back, like, I think you need to let people know, like, give a little bit of your history. Like, when did you drop your first album? Let them know how many albums you have actually fully recorded, produced, released. Let them know what you've done, because I don't think people know your history as much as I might.
yeah. So
Yeah, when did you drop your first album?
yeah, I released my first album in 2002. It was called Interfuse, and it was just I was recording since like 1999, and just being a big hip hop fan, and I dropped my first album, but 2002, with just my crew from like Lakeshore, Toronto, Anonymous and Romulus, and then just always rhyming with my homies from Rexdale, First Aid, Uno, uh, people like that. Just always freestyling and rhyming in Bergamot, Rexdale. And from there, just doing shows around Toronto. Up to this point, 2021, I'm not certain how many albums, but I believe over 14, I think. And like all of them completed, all of them over 11 tracks, all of them completed to CD and sold to the market. So, but yeah, just that, and it is what it is. That type of stuff. And I know, like, I'm luckily I got into like Vice magazine, CBC, and all that. Collaborated, like, thank God I collaborated in 2006 with Pumpkinhead from Brooklyn Academy, rest in peace. And then from there, just like doing shows. I did a show with you, with King's Court Entertainment and all that. And actually, I wanted to ask you about that too, just not to reverse the tables before you get into further questions with me, but like King's Court Entertainment, when did you start that originally?
Honestly, that is King's Court Entertainment. Well, King's Court, it was
Mm-hmm.
started in '94 when
Wow.
I was in high school. It was
Mm-hmm.
basically, it originally was my first rap group that me and
Mm-hmm.
my peoples, shout out Baby J, Magic Q, Tony, everybody, it was the first
Yeah.
rap group that we had started, like grade summer of grade 10 and whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then basically all throughout high school, the like certain people would join, certain people would leave, and stuff would happen, but it was the music group was always King's Court. By the time I graduated, I was the only one still pursuing music on a professional note. So
Mm-hmm.
I just said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make me a solo artist. King's Court will
Mm-hmm.
be the management, the label type of thing that I do, signing myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went from there. I've done a little bit of management with other artists and stuff, but it's only been on the bubble, nothing too major and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Because I remember doing a show with you downtown Toronto. I think it was College Street, but I remember I remember you and some of your homies were playing that Jay-Z Eminem like produced beat Moment of Clarity. And I wasn't up on the Black album from Jay-Z, and I was like, oh man, what was that beat? Like, and I remember later on you told me, and I was like, I always love that beat, but hearing it live with you guys, and you guys were just like freestyling off the top or something, and it was so dope. Like that moment, it was like, that's the thing. I think that there's so many pockets of Toronto hip hop that's like unexplored, like even all the freestyling in that we did in Bergamo. Like we would just every day after high school, I'd go in the back of my building and like 7 people just chilling, like whatever, smoking blunts, drinking, whatever it is what we did. And then just rhyming on the weekends in the summer, like in the park, it was just really dope. And even Toronto in general, there's so many great Toronto artists, like even Genghis Khan, Camouflage, like he's still doing his thing, and he's like very consistent, I think. And then just like, I mean, some of my favorite Toronto hip hop, like obviously like Ghetto Concept and Infinite. Is it Infinite? Not Infinite.
Yeah.
Infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And just so many dope like Toronto hip hop artists. So yeah.
So for the time that for the length of time that you've been doing, because you're not really new at this, what are your goals in the like do you have certain goal that you're still trying to get signed, or are you just doing music as a passion? What's going on with you right now with the music? Because you're still creating. Yeah,
of course. And I mean, as of right, I mean, I still have really big goals, but yeah, the thing is, so it's like, and you know, it's wild because the whole time I've always been working, you know what I mean? Like even back in the day, like my first job was at like a farmer's market. I worked at McDonald's. I always worked to fund the music, right? And, you know, I learned how to do everything myself in terms of like recording over time. Just learning the art of even like mixing and mastering and studio stuff. But, you know, like I even went back to school, completed my law clerk diploma. And again, I'm not working as a law clerk, but I'm working kind of in that field. And I've always been working. And I think that's kind of like, because there's other rappers I know who always like worked on the side too. And it's just, I feel like that kind of keeps me disciplined, but I still make money off hip hop and my music. But of course, the big dream is always like earning the Grammy Award for Best Rap Album, that and like making like a grimy hip hop album. And the thing is, because I worked, I feel like I'm kind of like my ear is to like the ground in terms of what people go to, because you always hear of rappers who like grew up in poverty and everybody relates, and then once they become like millionaires, they're just so disconnected from everything, and then you hear their music and nobody really relates, right? But I feel like I'm kind of at the core, like I understand what me myself go through with like just like life and work and relationships, and like at this level of like just like not a huge celebrity living in like Malibu, palm trees, whatever. But it's just wild because it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like, so that kind of keeps me going. But my goal, if I could become a multi-millionaire off my music, if I could win a Grammy Award and just constantly tour, I mean, that's totally the goal. And but again, like making it like hip hop, like, I mean, a lot of Grammy Award winners, I know, like, okay, Kanye won a lot, Drake won a lot, Eminem won a lot. The first Grammy Award winners were like Naughty by Nature, like, so Tretch won a Grammy, so that's incredible, right? Like, I just, I want, not to say I want hip hop to go back to its core, but it just, the style swayed a lot. Like, there's a lot of singing in hip hop now, and that's fine. I mean, there was this old film I was watching. I don't know if it was Breaking or some like not Wild Style, but and I was watching these like rappers from the 80s, and they were singing too, and I'm like, oh shit, like that's I not that I'm tripping out on now style. Everyone's singing. They used to sing back then, but something happened with like Run DMC, and then like whatever, like Wu-Tang, Redman, and I feel around that era, like 1991, 92, 88, like what Slick Rick did. Everyone goes off with the golden era, but I feel like rap kind of got perfected there, and then you can build upon that.
Yeah.
But then when it diverts too much, it almost doesn't become hip hop, you know?
It's basically, because it's going to go through cycles where it's literally almost a battle between the DJ and the where the DJ is most important and all that matters is music and you're having a party. And then it goes into a cycle where it's about the MC and it's about the message and the lyricism and, you know, and it just, it goes through that cycle. And right now right now, 2020, it's kind of gotten back to the rapper, but you know, club songs run the radio, and that's where the money is. That's the problem. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, I was always a fan of music anyway growing up. Like, my sister was into like 80s, and from everything in the 80s, even like Michael Jackson to like things like just like 80s. Not so much metal, but things like Sisters of Mercy or The Cult, or like she used to listen to that, and then just like, or Depeche Mode. And then I took to hip hop when I saw Run DMC video as a kid. But I was, and then under like Wu-Tang just like inspired me so much, like just how their image was and the music. And then just Redman blew my mind. And, you know, like just seeing all that stuff. And then it just came a point where I didn't like mainstream hip hop, not because it was pop, but I just didn't like it. And then when the underground opened up with whatever, like 96, 97, like Necro, Cage, Nonfiction, Arsonist, you know, like Cool Keith in that Dr. Octagon era. And then I went back to that. And then I feel like underground kind of went weird. And I stopped listening to underground. And for the longest time, I wake up to like pop radio all the time. Like even Justin Bieber, like it's almost like, oh, how can you listen to that? But I appreciate things like even like whatever's on pop radio. I'm like, that's cool. Like it's catchy. It's good music. So and even now it's like, I'm never one to complain about, even before I apologize if it's almost like, I'm complaining about like, oh, singing. No, there's different styles. There's so much good hip hop always in the moment. Cause even like, I think Lil Baby, I think that's his name. Like I don't know so much about their music, but then he kind of did this like video. I think it was black and white. It was all about the riots and revolutionary. And even Kodak Black, who's like, he seems like a wild rapper. And then he did some video that's like him as Malcolm X, but it's all like intellectual and he has like heart because I thought he was more like a party and like wild rapper. And then he does this video and everyone's like, he's like a genius. Like it's just, I couldn't even believe how great it was. So it's just really, and then obviously like Griselda, like I feel like they really, did some movement that totally inspiring me with like West Side Gun, Conway, all that, you know, like Benny the Butcher. So there's so much, like, hip hop has become something else. Like, music in general dies, like jazz. I mean, it kind of tapers off. I'm not sure where jazz is now, but how great it was. Rock and roll, heavy metal, and everything tapered off. And everyone said in the beginning that hip hop was a fad and was gonna die. And always, it's just on the cups of dying. But in my mind, it was always just so simple, like lyrics and a beat. Lyrics and those two basic things, and the infinite things you could do between them. And hip hop is so strong, and I think it's still to this day the most popular music genre there is. So
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say, because I remember we were talking about it, what is your top 5 best rappers, favorite rappers?
I have two top 10 lists, like goal lists. I have one list where it's rappers in terms of like great music, and then big time success, and then just like straight amazing hip hop. I don't have the list in front of me, but like, because I mean, so off the popular success list, it would be like Jay-Z, and I know that's a common thing. I never took to Jay-Z originally, but then over time, I just grew to respect him, and then I went back in his catalog, and then the reason for Jay-Z is because of, first of all, where he came from, the poverty where he came from, and where he had the discipline and working hard, and then like the consistency of his album sales, and then just like his lyricism and his image, and how and even his marriage to Beyonce, like just like showing a relationship and family, that's important too, because I look at everything. And then obviously someone like Eminem, with what he's done, because he came from poverty as well, Trailer Park, Detroit, whatever. His consistency, and how he dealt with setbacks and he keeps going. And then somebody like Ice-T, who transitioned to like TV or film, but Ice-T is very healthy. He admitted he never smoked weed in his life. Just incredible. Just with he looks great. He has a beautiful family. Who else in terms of Busta Rhymes? He came back with that incredible album last year, and that's kind of like the success list where they're kind of dope and successful. And not to say that my other list isn't successful. They're all incredible, but it's just like, you know, like rest in peace, like Pumpkinhead. Just musically, what Pumpkinhead did was so dope. His voice, everything. I wish he was still alive. That really bothered me that he passed away. But he's just so great, like that freaking just so amazing. And then other people like like somebody like Killah Priest, just like in terms of his lyrics and who he is, Killah Priest. And then somebody like Redman, but Redman pushes the thing towards big time success because he went platinum anyway. And Redman is just like a perfect example of like just a great hip hop artist. Who else? Eminem with his lyrics. Yeah, go on.
You have to put some people, like, even if somebody can't personally relate to the message that Eminem is sending, if you understand rap at a technical, rhythmical, like lyrically, he's amazing. The things that he can do on beats, you have to appreciate Eminem, even if you don't like him.
Yeah, and it's weird because he's even going through cycles, and it's like so many people kind of hate on him. It's like he was accepted in the beginning and then hated on, and then loved and hated on. but regardless, like his stats are always like he's still selling well and all this stuff. And again, like he's he's always passionate, and then like yeah, like his lyrics and like delivery and all that. But then I'm just trying to think who else that I really like. Who else? Like something like Holocaust, War Cloud.
Okay.
And do you know him? He was a Wu-Tang affiliate.
I remember the name. I didn't really follow, but I know the name. Yeah.
Yeah, he's incredible. So it's just like, it's almost like these lists where it's like, okay, these like popular millionaire rappers who are also dope. And then there's this other list I have where it's just like MCs you hear and they just blow your mind, and they'll be like on a radio show just rhyming. And then like, nobody's thinking about the money. Nobody's thinking. You're just like mind boggled, like hearing these guys rhyme.
Yeah. Okay. So, we don't have a lot of time. We're gonna have to do a part 2, but I wanted to talk about. You said that you did a movie. Let me tell us about that.
Yeah, the film's called Drab Vegas, and it's on DVD. And basically, the whole thing is just it's just the whole premise is like, I'll read kind of like what it is. It just says it's like Drab Vegas is a dark film about a girl and guy having life conversations. It was filmed in Las Vegas 5 days before the 2017 shooting massacre. The film also contains a few original hip-hop instrumentals playing throughout it. The conversations about the challenges, but also the hopes and dreams of modern life. An inspiring documentary adding to the quality of hip-hop and film culture. So, yeah, like I know this actress from around that area, and we met several times, and we made this film. And it's just kind of like, and now I'm just selling it on DVD. And it took a long, I learned so much making this film. Like, it's like, it is totally different from creating a hip-hop album. And it's just, and again, it's like, it was kind of like a big thing, like the next thing for like Cataphonic Productions and Admiral Crumple or whatever, but it's kind of like its own thing, like Drab Vegas. It's just, and, I just want people to see it on DVD. Yeah, only DVD. And that's why, like, people are buying it online, and all my friends selling in Toronto, and, I'm not streaming it just yet, and that's kind of it has people even wanting it more because you can only get it on DVD, and that's the thing. A lot of people are like, "Oh, that's like a old format, this that," but whenever I create an album or anything, I always want to press it up, manufacture on CD, because there's nothing like that feeling when you create something, you hold it in your hand, and you're like, "Whoa!" And same thing with this DVD, and the DVD is just kind of like. I feel like no one can ever make a movie like this. It's all like the truth. It's such a simple premise. It's just like a guy and girl, just talking about life. And like, she's a visual artist. I'm a hip hop artist. And then, like the arguments that ensue, and then like we're laughing this side. And it's just kind of interesting. And it's not far away from what I've been doing, because I always did like grimy, like dark hip hop, like with a message, because if I ever get fearful, I create music. But this film, it's kind of like that same vibe, but and there's hip hop beats in it, and our image is hip hop. We look hip hop, and there's just a couple of hip hop beats in it, and it's just like it's something new towards that. And again, like. Luckily, over time, I have I think I've made over 35 music videos. So it's kind of like the next thing, make a film. And the film is over an hour and 20 minutes. So
what inspired you to do the film?
Just in general, like, I just, cause like taking trips to like Las Vegas, and then it's just kind of fell together. And just, it just put it together type thing. And
so was there any script or it all, or just
It was, yeah, we had notes, but it was like kind of like it's all like reality based.
Okay.
And yeah, it's funny because I've had various feedback. It's almost like my sister watched it, and my sister's big into film, and she's like, "What is this? This that? Pause it. You should have done this. Okay, play it. Okay, pause it." And it was so funny. But everyone has this reaction to this film, like because it's all real. There's no like, it's all fact, like what we're talking about in the film, and it's. I just people have got to see it, and then it's like my other boy came to my apartment and watched it, and he loved it. And at the end, we had like a 2-hour conversation about life. And then I showed it to my other boy, and he's like, "What is this, this, that?" And he's talking about it and calling me the next day, like, "Oh." And then I played it to this other girl I know, and she was like, she loves it, and she feels like it's like a whole modern day thing of just like what's kind of going on in the world. And especially just like, it's just wild. So everyone has like kind of this reaction to it. And it's
I
kind of like
know.
an intellectual.
I know because one of the things I remember with the music on the critique that you've gotten, you like while you're learning, you're not afraid for your stuff to be rough edged. Like you
Right.
you don't make sure that everything's perfect and polished. You
Right.
like
Yeah. And that's the thing. Cause it's like, even me, it's almost like, even before I ever released an album, I'm like, oh my God, should I release it? And then I just got in 2002, I'm like, I'm going to put it out there to the masses. And if it gets dissed, I'm going to take it and learn. And yeah, like I sold stuff, but then I got disrespected. And then I started building kind of like a fan base. And then it's just, that's the thing, because I'm always about just incremental steps of growing and improving. And I'm constantly learning and improving. And to the point where, like people, I have fans for well over like 18 years now who love my stuff. And in the beginning, like people even diss me for several things, but I took a lot of that for learning. Like I didn't mix and master really well, but then over time I was reading books and this, that, to the point where I went in studios and I played my music to like professional music engineers, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a great mix. Like it's incredible. Like, wow." And I was like, whoa. So these professionals are appreciating it. And again, I'm far from where I want to be mixing this out, all that. But then, and then just like in terms of lyrics and this, that, and then the thing is, it's almost like I realize like haters in general, you can never appease anyone. It's just wild because I know I'm passionate about it and I love it. And it kind of keeps me going. And it's funny, like, over time, I realized that a lot of these people who used to just kind of disrespect me for no reason, like I feel so excited about hip hop still. And even recently, I came across some people, artists who used to disrespect me, and they quit hip hop a long time ago. They never even got to like where people know me as much. Like I'm at a certain level, and they didn't even get as popular as I did, but they were always dissing me, and I was like, that was freaky. And I don't disrespect other people. I just hone and work on my own craft.
yeah.
And like recently I came across some people they quit like maybe 7 years ago, and they're not even close to hip hop anymore. Yeah. And meanwhile, me, like I just released an album, Shadowsphere, last year, and I mean in 2019, and I did this film 2020, and I'm still so excited about it. And I mean I have no time to disrespect those other people. Like I'm just excited about what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
and
I've always respected that you've just done your thing. But we're gonna
yeah,
have to reschedule a part two because
okay,
yeah, we are going to have to cut this short for a bit.
yeah,
So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna stay in contact, and I'm going to because I want to find out more about the movie because I heard I know you want to put it in the film festival. I want to find out what you're doing with performances when things open up, and what other
yeah,
plans you have for other movies. All right.
right,
So
okay,
why don't you tell
perfect.
everybody where to find you online? We got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got it right.
yeah. If people just people can buy my stuff on Spotify, whatever's out there, all digital format platforms I'm on, and then like Instagram /Crumple1, Admiral Twitter /Admiral Crumple, Facebook Admiral Crumple, YouTube, just search Admiral Crumple, and the whole thing is just like I'd like people to buy my film Drop Vegas and my album, my last album Shadowsphere, because I talk about like like business and like the inner city, and like it's just like a grimy album, and Cage is on that album as well. So yeah.
All right. So yeah, everybody, we're gonna get that information, and I'll have it in the description. Make sure you check out Admiral Crumple. He, I can say, he is a Toronto hip hop original. He's been down from like I've known him, yeah, for a good 15 years. We used to be
Mm-hmm.
met through Hip Hop Canada. Like this guy been on the grind, 12 albums. And
Yeah.
like for you guys got like you have to respect somebody that has that type of a hustle. So shout out Admiral
Mm-hmm.
Crumple. We will have him back on the show there. Hopefully do a full video, and okay, and we'll be back in a bit there. All right. So
Awesome. Thank you
all
so
right,
much. I
no
appreciate it.
problem. You have a great one, and we'll hook up again there.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Okay,
Okay.
cool. All right, peace. Take care, homie.
All right. You have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Okay, peace. Bye. Hey.
Bye. All right. All right, that with Admiral Crumple. Make sure y'all follow him, show some support. Be back in a couple of minutes there. We are going to be doing the interview with Ottawa's own Canadian veteran battle rapper Teddy KGB. Holla at you, boy.